Sir, we are overrun.
Hey everybody, had a great discussion with the battletech channel on Discord for battletech Texas for Alpha Strike. And he proposed a couple of units, which I need to go pull up on the other screen. But I was working on this big monstrosity from Steel Warrior Studio, and grr, it was a pain to get off my print bed. Beautiful piece of plastic though. I'll light it up later. So let me get that situated on the other screen. So before we jump into it, conversation was about the online league rules from MRBC, which are pretty nice. Again, my taking points away from that is that one, it's great if you have a local community that's at least 20 strong and everyone can either pick a faction or group up into factions and everyone's happy. If not, it kind of lends itself to casual gamers that are munchkins, meaning that I'm going to get 50 games in, I'm going to be the leader of my faction, and then I'm going to just own everybody, regardless of size. You kind of need a balance, and I like the rules. If I had a consistent Alpha Strike play group where we could meet at least twice a week and get 250 or 300 point games in on a regular basis, it would be amazing. Not my luck right now. So getting this pulled up. And I wanted to discuss static versus non-static infantry versus fast moving other things that I already did a video on. So what I'm doing is I'm opening up multiple tabs, getting everything pulled up, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. And I don't know why my internet wants to run slow right now. So talking points going in while the internet's loading. One, infantry are not fast unless they're hover or motorized. 2 points. My feelings are that infantry are overpriced in Alpha Strike or generic infantry. Let me be very. All right, we lost internet connection for a minute, but what I wanted to do was be very clear about what's going on, not in my thought process, but infantry. So recycling back, one, any type of foot infantry, any type of infantry that have less than 4 inches of movement, and up to and including battle armor, I consider static. You're not running across the table for an objective. You are not flying across the board. Secure an objective. You need transport. 2 points. Any infantry that is considered heavy and still doesn't have their own ability to hop into a transport to be relocated infantry, up to and including battle armor moving less than 4 inches, yeah, I hear you. You have one job, create a kill box. Now, without complaining about the ineffectiveness of Alpha Strike ranges or even DFA's extended ranges, short range and infantry that only shoot in short range are spotters. I don't care what you say. They are not going to help a kill box unless you are guarding a very specific objective with forced and very controlled points of entry and exit. They're spotters. Throw them on a rock, throw them on a tower, let them do their job. Everybody wins. Now, what I don't want to do is get into a argument. Second point on infantry. Hover and motor infantry are beautiful when used correctly in game. and I really do dig them. So I'm going to give you some infantry that makes sense, that are awesome, that are well pointed for what they do, should always be considered a threat. But again, some people are going to get in their feelings. I'm personally not going to care about their feelings. I'm just going to give you the facts as I see them statistically, give you my opinion as always, and you can always tell me to shove it and go somewhere. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that get over abused for what is considered great, and then you look around and you're like, oh, you're not so great. So yeah, this is going to be a different type of unit discussion with me because I specifically have a lot of biases, and I'm not trying to be obstinate about it. I just feel that some units are overglorified while others don't get the respect that they deserve. So I want to do a couple of things. Now that the internet's back up, let's go ahead and share the screen. All right. So first off, let's start off with Master Unit List, always the greatest website. This is the force that was brought up by the other person in the conversation as being one of the most effective 19-point units in a game with 4 inches of movement, 4 armor, 1 structure, 2 short, 2 medium, and if their special attack hits, heat 2. This is gorgeous. And it says in the notes, heavy urban response platoon, Lyran, 3rd Lyran Guards. Yes. Yes, this is the epitome of killbots. 19 points, 4 of them, that's less than 80 points, 76 points. You will own a corner of a battlefield. If you have the right terrain, you can shut down mechs if heat rules were optional. Like if you could do 4 levels of heat and shut a mech down, great. Even if you're doing 8 points of damage and 2 points of heat, it's still going to slow down the enemy mech. You're going to control this kill zone. All right. Here's where my argument came in. If I don't have to go to that part of a 4x4 field, if I don't have to go to that part of a battlefield to deal with them, you've wasted 76 points, 19 points, however many you invested. If life was perfect, and in my perfect world, if I was playing on a 6x4 table and then I was playing team games where we had 12x4, 18x4, 24x4, you now see how this Killbot superstar gets diminished every time you add another table. This is an ambush unit. This is a point of control unit. This is a border control unit. This is an objective protection unit. This is not mobile infantry. That was my whole point. It didn't blow up into an argument. It was a very constructive conversation. Now, let's go over into what I like. For 18 points, I get 2 units with a team of 1. They're infantry, so it becomes a team of 2. If they hunker down after moving, they get a team of 3. 9 points, 1 armor, 1 structure. They're infantry again. But at least they can get around and shoot. I like that. I like that. I like that. Jump infantry. Okay, 13 points, 4 inches of jump, no TMM. They automatically get the 1 for jumping. They get 1 for infantry. If they dig in, they get 2. Okay, 3 armor, 1 structure, 1 and 1. Nice. I'll take it. Before the nerf, these guys were 15 points, 2, armor 4, structure 1. No one's complaining. They're still pretty good. They still don't have a TMM. They need to dig in. Who cares? Not going to the other part of the conversation yet. Motorized infantry. Okay, these guys are a rifle. Yes, they suck. But 6 inches of movement, TMM of one, two armor, two structure. And they do one short range for 8 points. These are the guys I'm talking about. You stick in a building, you stick on a high mountain. They're your spotters. If you want to get nitpicky with them, give them skill 6, make them cheaper. No one's going to complain. Motorized FedCom. Again, 2 armor, one structure, 8 inches of movement, hover one, 1, 1. We're good. LRMs. 10 points, 6 inches of movement, 2 armor, one structure. There's a very consistent theme here. So let me go ahead and stop sharing the screen to bring up my counter argument. As I've played battletech and been in love with battletech since 1987. Yeah, I'm glad I got a haircut so you don't see all of my gray. Watching a lot of Vietnam movies, talking to war veterans, coming from a military family, I get it. Warfare is two things: static, defensive, mobile, defensive, and offensive. Battletech in infantry, it's kind of a gross abusive relationship to me. From the universe perspective, life is cheap, battle mechs aren't. That means that any weapons manufacturer or shipment can arm multiple platoons of infantry on any planet, whether they're skill 5, skill 6, skill 4, skill 3, related to Alpha Strike. It's going to suck, but you can arm a militia quickly. Now, infantry on foot takes forever to travel. We get that. History's taught us that. Not arguing that point. My counterpoint is for 1 point more over the initial unit that was presented, which is the 19-point heavy infantry with Heat 2 from 3067. I have something that's been around since 3021, 1 point more, and I already did a video about them. But just to go back to the discussion, Peregrines, 20 points. You can do a whole lot of damage, mobile and quick. Okay, rules is written. They're TMM of 4 because they're VTO wells. They get an additional TMM of 1 for small, so they're +5. Effectively, they neuter themselves. Why? They cannot go above medium range in height. Because with VTOLs, you have to declare if they're at low, medium, high, or extreme altitude. They cannot have a high altitude because they have no long range shot. Now, if they are flying at high altitude, they effectively have a TMM of +9 once you factor in range. If you're trying to skate them across the table to aggravate someone without getting shot, yeah, fly at 42 inches, please. Meaning that someone has to stand directly underneath them to shoot. It sucks, but it's a reality check. Moving further along, if we were doing formations, which I don't want to get into, all 4 Peregrines would have the SRM ability. It would get ugly. You could have infernos. You could do heat damage. Don't need to talk about it. I'll leave that up to your imagination. But for 1 point more, and at 80 points exactly, I can have a box of death that flies across the field, jumps behind people, and is doing 3 points of damage. Or I can do 2, or I can do 1 point of damage, load up SRMs, and do heat. Doesn't matter, doesn't make sense for not to be abused. Now, third point, we should limit this. Why? I found $50 and I ordered 4 Peregrines. I put them on a table. I have a lance. I bought 2 lances of peregrines, 160 points, skill 4. Yes, they're hard to take care of, but if you are playing a 300-point game, that only gives me 140 points to put other units on the table. How do you take care of peregrines and infantry? Infantry being so slow without digging in can get wiped out in a turn with concentrated fire. Okay. Peregrines, +5, +7 at medium range. You don't move a mech or whatever you're just going to shoot at them that doesn't have flak or doesn't have AC and uses flak. It's a +6. So that's 10s at skill 4, 9s at skill 3s, 8s at skill 2s. Concentrate fire, nothing changes. They can come down. Now, when you start adding in flak ammo and you eventually will get to an aerospace fighter, eventually, the way to deal with infantry strikes, strafe bombing, if they're sitting within 10 inches of each other, high impact fireware. There's multiple ways to kill infantry outright. Infantry can't survive infernos. I don't care what you say in any rule set. It was in the base classic, and it's an alpha strike. You hit infantry with infernos, yeah, they kind of go away. There's multiple ways to deal with infantry. So my point being is that the basic peregrine, 20 points, is nasty. Cargo peregrine, hi, I can take 7 tons of infantry with me anywhere on the field, drop them off. This is how you fix that static box issue. I wanted it to be clear and compliment, not insult, not hurt anyone's feelings. If I have to have a box that's killing things, I wanted to get places quickly, just in case in a mobile battlefield, which Alpha Strike really is, you need to get there. Last but not least, let's talk about the Karita variant. Still, SRM1, it does more damage. Yeah, let's use a formation. No, let's not use a formation. It's hard enough for players to deal with a +5 moving target as it is. They don't need any formation bonuses. Just saying. But if it gets behind someone, pop her 4 in the back. Yeah, it can hurt. It can happen. So that's my infantry soapbox for today. Infantry are great. Infantry need respect. Why internet? Why today? Yes, for 19 bleeding points, this is amazing. Highly recommended. You can shove it in a peregrine. Now you have friends. 4 of these with 4 cargo peregrines as infantry transports. You can own a mobile damn battlefield. Just my 2 cents. I would do it. I'm not doing it today, but I would do it. There is a unit discussion for today. Happy Mecha Madness Monday. And of course, your Draconis Combine. Let me get out of that. Your warlord from Draconis Combine approves this tactic. Have a great day.